going to record this. All right. So we need to determine the sum there. So for this question, the number of terms is 40. Right? I'm just going to choose one. That's 2.3. Right? I'm going to do 2.3. Right? For me to get the sum, I'm going to rewrite it so it was 1 plus 2,5 plus 4 plus. Now here we don't have the last term. Okay? So, but you can find it if you want later on. But since you have the last term, no need to use the second formula. Let's use the what? The first one. Alright? So I'm going to find D first. That's 1,5. That's 1,5. Okay? So D is going to be 1,5. The first term is 1. The number of terms is 40. So I'll write here A is 1. D is 1,5 or 3 over 2. And N is equal to 40. This is very straightforward. It's not like the first question that we did. Right? So Sn is equal to N over 2 times 2A plus N minus 1 times D. So here, our N, or the number of terms, is 40. Okay? It's 40. It's stated in the question. So it will be S40 is equal to 40 over 2 times 2 times 1 plus 40 minus 1 times D, which is 1,5. I can put 3 over 2 there if I want. Right? So if you simplify, your S40 will be equal to 20 here times 2 plus, that's 39. What's 39 times 1,5? 39 times 1,5? Is what? 58.5. Then you simplify this, you get 20 times 60,5. Right? If I multiply that by 10, I'm going to get 605 times 2. I'll get 1,210. Let's check that for me. What is 20 times 60,5? So this will be the sum, right? I used the first formula. The first formula, that's the one that I used. Now this is a very simple question. Okay, so what I did in 2.3, do that in 2.1 and also 2.2. Okay? Any question? Before I move on to the next one. Any question if I move on to the next one? And if you don't have a question, then I'm moving on to the next one. Then question 3. Question 3, we are now bringing in questions with the series notation. No need to get confused. Sn means the sum of terms in an arithmetic series. Okay? So the question says, determine the first 3 terms and the nth term of the sequence. If you have got that. Alright. I want you to be aware that if you are given the series formula like that, you can connect it with Tn. Okay? This is how you can connect with Tn. I'm going to give you an example. Right? Let's say if I give you 3 terms. Alright? Like say S3. Say S3. S3 will be equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. You agree with me on that? Yes. And then if I say S2, for this question it will be equal to T1 plus T2. You agree with me? Right? Now check this. I can determine T3 using S3 and S2. Okay? The sum of 3 terms minus the sum of 2 terms will give me the value of the third term. Did you see that? Okay. Let me try to explain on the side here. And I think I can do it here. Let me see it from there. Before I do the example, you need to be aware of it. Right? If I give you, say, S3 as 4 plus 6 plus 8, okay? And then I say S2 equal to 4 plus 6. What's the total here? 18. Am I right? And what's the total here? 10. Right? This is T1, that's T2, and that's what? T3. This is T1, that's T2. If I want to determine T3, okay, I can use the values of S3 and what? S2. Do you see that? T3 will be equal to S3 minus S2. What is S3? It's 18. What is S2? It's 10. What is 18 minus 10? It's what? Do you see that? Yeah. If I want to find the value of, say, the second term, right? All I need is the total of S2 and the value of the first term, which is going to be S1. S1 and T1 are the same. If you are given a series with one term, what will be the sum? It will be that term. So T1 and S1 are what? Are the same. So if I want to find, say, T2, it's going to be S2 minus S1, which will give me a 4. Because 10, sorry, give me a 6. 10 minus 4 gives me what? 6. Now there's a simple formula for that one. Okay? There's a simple formula for that. The simple formula, you need to know this. It will be Tn will always be equal to Sn minus 1. Write it down somewhere. Okay? This formula will help you to connect, it's a general formula, to connect the terms in a series and the sum of a series. Right? I've explained the concept here in this example. Okay, so here it says determine the first 3 terms. The first 3 terms. Okay, so let's start. In fact, I can go to the next page. So I want to start with the first one. It's Sn equals 43n minus 6n squared. And allow me to open a new page. Right? So it's 43n minus 6n squared. So this is 3.1. It says Sn is equal to 43n minus 6n squared. 43n minus 6n squared. The question says determine the first 3 terms. And what? And the nth term of the sequence. Okay? Which means we need to determine a general term. Right? So we'll start by saying S1 is going to be equal to. By S1, we are saying n is equal to 1, which is the first term of the series. It's also the first term of the arithmetic sequence. So when there is n here, we put 1. So you get 43 times 1 minus 6 times 1 squared. That will give you 43 minus 6. And you get 37. This 37 here, that's your T1. S1 is equal to T1. Okay? Let's get on. S2. S2, now I want you to be aware, this is a little bit tricky. S2 means you are adding T1 and T2. Okay? That's what it means. So let's find S2. And then use S2 to determine T2. So we use S2 and what? And T1. So S2, where there is n there, you put 2 minus 6 times 2n squared. This gives you 86 minus, that will give me 24. So the total, 86 minus 20 will give me what? 62. This 62 is equal to, it's equal to T1 plus T2. Which means in that 62, there is 37 as well. Because we are dealing with a what? A series. So I know that T1 is 37. So it means my T2 is going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to 62 minus 37. Remember, 62 is equal to S2, and S2 is equal to T1 plus what? T2. My T1 is 37, so here you get what? 25. Alright? Are you following? Right. Then T3. Now, to get the third term, we need to find S3. So S3 is going to be equal to 43 times 3 minus 6 times 3 squared. This is equal to, okay, 43 by 3, that will give me 129 minus, this is 9 times 6, that's 54. So you get what? 75. Okay? Now, this 75 is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. That's 75 is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3. Which means in this 75, there is also what? 62 in it. Are you following that? So for me to get T3 is going to be equal to S3 minus S2. Okay? So what is S3? 75. What is S2? It's going to be 62. Okay, and your answer will be what? 30. So I found all three terms now. Now, if you look at the terms are decreasing, right? We have 37, then 25, then 13. Now, if you calculate the common difference, they will be what? Minus what? It will be minus what? What's the common difference? Minus 12. Okay? 37, 25 minus 37, that's minus 12. 13 minus 25, minus 12. So I have all my three terms. Are you following? Yes. That's T1, T2, that's T3. No food. Following it? It's making sense. Okay. Then from here now, the question says determine the nth term. That's a general term now. Right? To find the general term, we need the first term. We need the common what? Difference, which is what we got. Okay? So we can use the Tn formula. Where there is 8, we are going to put what? 37. Where there is D, we put minus 12. And then we simplify. Okay, I'll stop here for. I'll carry on from here in the next lesson.